most excited about Islam. He's the best one to call other people to it. Many of the reverts to Islam that we have in the United States are some of the best callers to Islam, and they don't even know the Arabic language yet. But they're enthused and excited about this. What? The correct belief that there really is a God. And there's proof of this God. Hard evidence that shows without any equivocation that Allah exists. He's one, and He has the total authority of everything in the universe. And He's revealed to us His book, His Quran. And this is also a big part of the da'wah, is to call the people to read this book in the Arabic language. I know a lot of people tell me, why do you have to read in Arabic? Why don't you read in another language? Allah revealed it in the Arabiya. And if you said, well, I don't know Arabic, so I can't be a Muslim. That's not true. Many people are Muslim today don't know their Arabic language. But the more you want to learn, the more you want to do, then it's worth it for you to spend 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and begin to learn what is Arabic, how do I read it, how do I understand it. Nobody's going to tell you can master the Arabic language in 2 or 3 lifetimes, much less a short period of time. But you don't have to master it to read the Quran. All you need to do is get started. We have some help for that, by the way, on our website. And I'm sliding off to a commercial. I'm good at that, by the way. I wanted to visit our websites and check it out. Learn how you can get involved in Islam more. You can learn about the Quran by translation and then begin to learn what these words mean. Today I've talked about several of the words. I talked about maruf, I talked about munkar. I told you about the word da'wah and the word du'a. And maybe you knew these, maybe not. But the point is, that's where you start, one by one by one. You don't try to accomplish a journey by taking one step to go all the way from here in Bangalore, India, to Washington, D.C. Instead, it's the first step you take to get out the door. Then to the car, then to the airport, then across the pond, as we used to call it, and so on. So you know that every journey that you take starts with a single step. And each of us is responsible to take the first step. Nobody's asking you to do more than you know, but do what you do know. Be the best of what you can as a Muslim. Now, I know that some of the things I've said today may be a little new to you, or maybe not the way you understood it before. But it's okay. Take your time. Take your Quran and begin to read and think about it. If you don't know the Arabiya, at least read the translation that you have and reflect and ask Allah to guide you. Even if you know the Arabic language, doesn't mean you know what's real Islam. This only comes from the guidance of Allah. And He can guide people with whatever He wants, any way that He wants. So we start inside of our heart. And we start real da'wah with du'a. And we say, oh Allah, guide me. Guide my steps. Guide my path. Guide my tongue. Guide my eyes. Guide every part of me to be on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight path. And I'm praying for the guidance for myself first. Then I pray, oh Allah, guide my family. Guide my wife. Guide my children. My parents. Oh Allah, guide us. Then I pray for those in my outer family. My cousins, my uncles, my aunts, and other relatives. Then I will increase and ask Allah for the community of Muslims. Allahumma nizal Islam wa Muslimin. And then I will increase it even more and say, oh Allah, guide all of the people on the planet. Because only Allah is the guide. And this is another form of da'wah, is what we give to Allah when we ask Him, oh Allah, guide us, guide the people. Guide us, guide the people. All of this is in the framework of the da'wah. I want to share with you something. Some of the best callers to Islam that I've met, in fact, have come right out of here in India. They come all the way over to my country in the United States. And they shared with me something many years ago, and I learned this. It was a beautiful analogy. They said a person calling to Islam is similar to a farmer who is planting seeds in the ground. Because the farmer, in the daytime, he's planting his seeds. Hard working, taking care of the crop, cleaning the weeds away from it. And then he's what? He's trusting God to do something, but he's asking God, oh Allah, make it rain. Oh Allah, make it rain. So in the daytime, he's planting and taking care of his crops. Then in the night, he's praying and crying, oh Allah, make it rain. So in the same way, the one who calls to Islam does this. In the daytime, he plants the seeds. He tells the people, La ilaha illallah. There's no God to worship except Allah. Do deeds of righteousness. Do goodness. And be kind to each other. Be charitable with each other. This is all a part of Islam. And then in the night, he gets up and he waters the crop. How does he do that? He does his da'wah to Allah. At night, oh Allah, accept from me this effort that I've made. Oh Allah, accept from my parents. Oh Allah, accept from my relatives. Oh Allah, accept from the Muslims everywhere. Oh Allah, accept from the people on the planet, and make all of us submit to you on your terms, and make all of us good people. This is the best way. Dawah in the day, dua in the night. And this will complete you as a human being. Constantly trying to be better at whatever you do. As a Muslim, be the best that you can. And then, in the night, ask Allah, oh, forgive us for the shortcoming, accept from us, and guide all of us. What better way can we imagine to do this da'wah, the calling to Islam? One of the things that a lot of people ask me, we do receive a lot of emails, and I want to address one of the subjects that people will ask me about making da'wah to non-Muslims. How do we give this invitation to someone who's not a Muslim? Do we just walk up to them on the street like some religions do and begin trying to convert them? And in fact, that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for us to walk up and start telling people things like, by the way, your religion is stupid, you're crazy, your book is nonsense, you're an idiot. Because any of this type of action shows us that, in fact, we didn't even understand our own religion. And Allah forbids us in the Quran to treat people like that. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, being the example for us, did not treat the people like that. When he called the people to the belief, he simply stated to them, there really is a God. He's one. He has no partners. And we should obey him. Whoever wanted to hear more about his message would sit with him, listen to him, and see what he had to offer. And if they had something that they wanted to say, they were free to speak their piece and say what they have. If he agreed with them, he would encourage them, and that's good. But if he didn't agree with them, he didn't encourage them in that area. They figured out pretty fast what was acceptable and what wasn't, according to his response. For us as Muslims, we're not obligated to change what people believe. This is not our job to change the hearts of the people. The only heart that we're responsible for is our own heart. So that's why we begin with the real action on ourselves. So when we begin to talk to people, what if they say something harsh or evil?